So remember last night when my mic wasn't working and I thought, oh, I better fix that. I didn't until now. I see my gray roots too. Thank you, Lily. I was actually saying that I was on a very important call that was indeed more important than all of you. And so I'm sorry, not sorry that I'm late. Um, I imagine the audio is coming through now. Courtney's here. Melanie's here. You can see my gray roots. It is true. I have gray hair. I'm sure that got old when I was like 20 something when it started, but uh William's always rude though. He's like that until Holly comes around and then. Anyways, let's see. What do you guys have for dinner tonight? I had tacos because it's Taco Tuesday and I was hungry for tacos. Oh, I also have a zit. We can talk about that too if we want. I don't even care. Uh, Dana, you had a good run, but your eyes are, or your grays are coming in. She leashes him properly, Melanie. Well, I don't know because, well, he does things that he wouldn't when she's around. Anyways, like I said, tell me what you have for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. Um, I don't think it's rude to say that my gray hair is coming in. What I think is rude is that you didn't offer to pay for me to get my hair done, William. That would have been a better comment. Like, hey, here, go get your hair did. See, you see how you can change those things? Courtney wishes she had pizza. Lisa, you're getting 8 inches of snow over the last 2 days. My nails, yeah, my nails are done still from my vacation. They're the same one. Um, on my tiny hands, apparently, that I have. Jonathan's driving home from a grocery run. Please drive safely. Uh, Nothing's the problem with gray hair, William. I don't really have a problem with it. Yeah. Hi, T-Rex. You're in New Jersey. We don't really hate on things. Well, we can hate on things, I guess. So, hating on Jersey. Um, we have to remember I have a 15-year-old child. Okay, so if I had no gray hair, I'd be concerned. Plus, no, never mind. Anyways, okay, so we are gonna watch something that was just playing in where is that court? Is they're in Washington. I mean, they have to be East Coast because it is or sorry, West Coast, because they were live until just recently. Courtney, I don't you do not. Courtney, you look very, very young when we hung out in Florida. Um, I didn't notice a single gray hair. I'll say that. Anyways, so like I said, we're gonna watch. I only tuned into the end of this, and these people were fighting about the pettiest shit, and these lawyers go at it. So I thought we would watch that for a little while. Um, Aw, thank you, Courtney. Okay, so let's watch that. Oh, right. I have to fix them. So the mic problem is my problem, but I'll just read it. Just be.
All right, we are here for something.
Sorry, I perfectly fucking queued that up and I didn't even check. I would like that to be noted. That was perfect. Anyways, let's continue. Let's watch this. Like I said, so these two lawyers are going to go at it. I don't like the lady on top. I don't like the lady on the bottom. I don't really like either of them, to be honest with you. But that's what we got to deal with today.
Hold on.
Motion for protective order.
Correct. Motion for protective order based on discovery requests. And I have.
There's
my
been
Odyssey is like, this is the
So
worst
that's
time.
fine. I didn't file a reply. My reply is really just argument. So I'm just prepared to make argument and go through essentially her arguments and dispel them, dispatch them in argument.
and I'd object to that, Your Honor. Washington is a pleading state. If there was an objection, it should have been put in writing.
That's not required. If it's just based on the law, I don't have to file a memo. I would need to file pleadings if I had factual statements to make. And there's previous pleadings directly on point on this issue and declarations that have previously been filed. I don't have to regurgitate those. So I'm prepared to go forward. Again, these are really straightforward issues. Counsel's arguments generally
Here we go. I'm sorry. Odyssey has just all of a sudden decided to not.
I don't think that Odyssey can do what's happening here. I don't know what's happening here. Have you guys ever seen that happen on your YouTube like this? Maybe it's been deleted. That's why
I would need to file.
Anyways, I'm afraid restart it. I'll refresh it. Give me a second.
Pleadings if I had factual statements to make. And there's previous pleadings directly on point on this issue and declarations that have previously been filed. I don't have to regurgitate those. So I'm prepared to go forward. Again, these are really straightforward issues. Counsel's arguments generally just fail on the merits.
All right, hold on. Let me. Here we go. I'm sorry. Odyssey has just all of a sudden decided to not cooperate with me. So just.
I'm afraid to press the buttons. It seems to be working now. Did you see you, Mikey? I know. Well, that's my YouTube. It knows. It's like, wait, if she's done her live stream, she is probably going to watch some court or something about Egypt to fall asleep to for some reason. Hi, Eve. Hi, Denelli, Mike. Everybody who's just arrived, thank you for being here. Go ahead and click the like button, clock in for your shift. And thank you for the reminder from the Sudoku app to turn the alerts off on my phone.
Let me.
It's been bad the last couple of days.
All right, there we go. So motion for protective order that was filed on the 26th lists out the specific request for production that you have concerns with. And I've reviewed all of those. So, and I did make notes. Let me grab. So specifically, we have request for production 1, 3, 5, and 6. Is that correct? Is that just those 4?
Yes.
There's
That's
4,
my-
yes.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Jeffers, do you want to make any additional argument?
I don't think so, Your Honor. A lot of stuff has already been turned over to opposing counsel, but specifically with regard to mother social media and Google, we want to start limiting the amount of information. I'm also awaiting subpoenas for text messages between the parties. At this point, I think I'm over 35 hours just reviewing the initial stuff. This is a basic parenting plan case. This isn't a civil fraud case out of New York, and the parties both have very limited resources. Additionally, at this point, a lot of it is not relevant. It's overbroad with regards to the social media and Google. There's no time limit. It's from the beginning of time, and that's just not appropriate. So we are asking for a limitation on that. There's some really big concerns here as far as information on other children, their locations, where they go to school, their schedules, things like that. There's medical information about other children. And not only is that not relevant, but it's pretty scary to hand that over to somebody who has been convicted of multiple violent felonies. The tracking information is also problematic. Information requested is low.
Okay, so just to summarize what she just said, Miss Baldwin over here, right, this lady, her client has had multiple violent felonies. And later on, I do believe we find out that he was convicted of stalking the woman that he's now requesting all of her Google data on, which sounds like a lot to me.
Location of where mother is every time she accesses her phone, things like that. I don't know that that's relevant, especially going back as far as it did. And given the domestic violence concerns, there's serious concerns about how that information would be used by father. The other, basically kind of 1 and 3 go together, the same arguments, and then 5 and 6. With regard to 5 and 6, this is text messaging, mother and child. At the 26I, we talked about just limiting the communications between mother and child. I haven't heard anything from opposing counsel yet on that. That's what we're trying to do. The court has previously ruled that father doesn't just get access to the child's everything. Specifically, that argument came with regard to Facebook. So we've already turned over the communications between mother and father. I did submit some information on messages that father has sent to child, and there are concerns of how father is going to use these. As you can see from the messages, it's basically, I'm going to punish you, your life is not going to be happy, those kinds of things. It's a very significant power and control dynamic that's going on with father as regard to the son. And the child's already, the GAL has testified, is having a horrible time in this situation, and is acting out, is shutting down. And again, there's concerns on how that information would be used. There's also concerns, again, these are messages with, some of those messages are with other children, and information with regard to those children, their addresses, where they like to hang out, stuff like that. I'm not sure how that is relevant to this case. And again, I think it's too overly broad. Again, location information, where the child is at every time. But I mean, those are the major issues, Your Honor. We're just asking to limit the time to, say, 1 year. I think previously it was 2021. I can see what I can do there. limit the tracking and location data, the information regarding other children, limit the communications between mother and child. That's appropriate. And I think that that will do it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Right.
And I'm
Oh,
just
go
going to state for the record quickly, Ms. Baldwin, then I'll turn it over to you. So request for production number 1 is a complete archive of social media accounts. And these are the ones that are at issue. Number 3 is archive of Google account except email, including name or in which you have access, including digital copies of account history and archives. Number 5 at issue is, oops, I skipped over it. Where did number 5 go? Oh, there it is.
It's at the bottom, page 3.
Electronic native copy of information available on each page of Jaden's text messaging and her instant messaging services from January 1, 2021. And then number 6 is electronic native copy of text messages and instant messages from I think Miss Vic from January 1, 2021 to present. So I just wanted that on the record. Ms. Baldwin, go ahead.
Thank you. That's fair. So you really have to go through. So first, discovery is broad. It's very clear under the court rules that discovery is designed to be broad. And the only way you can limit discovery is if it's done for some improper purpose. They don't allege that. They don't allege that at all. The second, you could have that if it's unduly burdensome, and they don't get to that either. So when we look at things like request for production number 3 and request for production number 1, which are essentially downloads, this is not the Exxon Valdez in the 1980s, where I'm asking for a truckload of printed documents to be delivered to my office. It's a link that you click, and then you download it, and then you put it in a Dropbox. It's a 5-minute process. Nothing on there is privileged. So if it's not privileged, it's discoverable. And in this case, they even admit that it's relevant. And so again, their arguments fail. They say, well, not everything in there is relevant. Relevance is not a bar to discovery. And they straight out admit that some of it is relevant. So if it's relevant and it's not asked for an improper purpose, and you can't show that it's unduly burdensome, you have to provide it. It's very clear. Again, this is broad discovery. Counsel like, oh, I've spent hours and hours going through this stuff. That's her choice. And that'll be my choice on what I go through and what technology I use to glean through that information. But it's not required because it's not like she's going through it to create a privilege log. Nothing in there is privileged, especially with the social media and the Google logs. And that's why we intentionally excluded the email. I didn't want even a chance that I would accidentally happen upon an email that would be privileged. So we've excluded everything that's privileged. So all that's left is stuff that's relevant that they admit is relevant. Again, they say directly, not all of it is relevant. And I'm sure that's true, probably all discovery I ask for. Not every page of the ream of bank records is relevant. It just isn't. But some of it's very relevant to the case. And that's what we're looking for. So again, their arguments fail there. Then they make these very weird fictive arguments about other people may have some concerns. They don't list any individual person by.
This lawyer rubs me the wrong way, and usually I like to be rubbed the wrong way, but this is the wrong way, if you know what I mean. I just that seems like a huge amount of data for a basic child custody plan. Like that seems excessive to me. If this isn't even a divorce, this is just a child custody arrangement, and you're getting text messages from years ago.
My name. There is not one of those people who's come forth today. There's not a single declaration of a person saying that they're concerned or afraid. So this is just mother casting the specter of, gee, maybe some information that other people might be concerned about might get out. But again, this is all things that they've put on social media. These are all things that they have broadcasted to the world. At some point, you can't really complain when you've put that forth to the world. Again, costs, there's no cost affidavit and fee affidavits here about time that has been spent. And arguably, when we're talking about a link that you download the material and you send it because nothing in there is privileged, it isn't costly. You're choosing to go through all of it, and that's fine. But the procurement of it is not costly. And that is the question. It's not how much it costs them to go through it. It's the procurement is the question. The next sort of specter they raise is he'll use it to track her. There's no evidence this has occurred. There's no evidence this has occurred essentially since my client was convicted, spent time in custody, he's gotten out. He's done everything he can to stay away from her. The only evidence that they say exists is there's been a photo of her home. And I will tell the court that the single photo of where mom lives in Cathlamet was done by my investigator, not Mr. Rance. So again, we have this specter of he'll misuse it, but no evidence he has at any point in this case done anything to track her whatsoever. And when we look again to the text messages, and I'll tell the court, I did not time limit the Facebook and the Google because I think it's harder to time limit it with the link than it is to just say, send it all. So I actually tried to make it easier. If the court wants to put a time limit on it, that's fine. I think I offered to put a time limit on it in our CR 26I. I made multiple offers across the board to try to solve this problem. And that's part of my declaration that's previously filed. I said, we'll put a time limit on it. How about it's only accessible to me and my staff, and my client can't even look at it. None of those answers were accepted. So again, when I tried to solve the problem, offer time limits, all rejected. So again, there's no real excuse as to why they haven't provided this other than it's negative for them. Next, we get into the text messaging. The text messaging is critical. They themselves use text messages to prove their point. So they're fully admitting they're relevant, fully admitting that they're useful for the purposes of litigation, but they say, but don't make us provide them because that would be bad. But there's no evidence whatsoever that it's asked for an improper purpose, that it's harassment. Those are specifically time limited to the time period where this case has been in litigation. So again, we're really dialed into the time period where my client's been asking for time with his child. So we're asking essentially for mom's text messages, specifically with child, mom and dad's or child and Mr's text messages, and mom's text message to the broader world, child's text messages. These will give us the scope of who is feeding information to this child, who is sort of swaying the child one way or the other. Counsel sort of makes the argument that children are swayable. I agree, they certainly are. And these text messages are the types of things that'll give us that information. And the native format is important because the information that they use is completely undated. We don't know when it was, how it happened. So again, you're getting sort of this mishmash of, well, this is when she says it happened, but no one's really quite sure. So again, that's relevant. They admit it's relevant. They just don't want to provide it. So again, the reality here is that it needs to be provided. They raise essentially, it's a lot of cut and paste through each of these of sort of raising these same specters. The argument does not change. So again, we've done our best to limit it time-wise, limit it as when appropriate. But again, these are not things they're even being asked to print out. And the things they've provided, they haven't printed out. They've provided to me on thumb drives. They could provide it to me in Dropbox. So again, really straightforward and simple. So again, I'm fine if the court wants to add timelines to some of the social media and the Google accounts, that's fine. All the rest of it, I believe, is time limited to 2021 and forward. This is a situation where the court should deny the motion and award fees for me being here today, especially in the case where this my declaration where I offered all of these solutions to these problems, and it was just, no, I'm not going to do it. That's not reasonable. Parents have a right to pursue their case, and especially when you have some information that's clearly extremely relevant, which is mom's text messages to child, what she's telling him during these visits.
Thank you. Anything else Ms. Jeffers?
Yes, Your Honor, I don't remember any of those statements being in her declaration, so I guess I'll defer to the court's memory on that. In any event, it looks like we are in agreement that her client cannot review the discovery. We're agreed then on time.
Look at Miss Baldwin's face. She ain't in agreement with nothing. That bitch is fucking mean. Ugh. Talk about racking up the costs here. Also, hi Arizona and Mayor. Thank you for being here. I will be back on camera momentarily.
Limits. And it sounds like we're agreed that the text messaging will be between mother and child. Is that correct, counsel?
No, those are things I offer to try to solve the problem before getting here. I think my client should be able to review it. I don't think it's reasonable. If the court wants to limit it, you can't take it out of my office, that's fine. Again, I was making every effort to find any solution, and that is part of my declaration previously, but my client should be able to review the information with me. He's not going to be able to remember, like if the concern is tracking or something of that nature, he's not going to be able to remember a bunch of GPS coordinates when he leaves my office. It's just not a reasonable fear. It has to be reasonable. The argument isn't.
And Your Honor, that's kind of one of the issues that we're having here is during the 26I, these were agreements. And then it's like, oh no, that's not the agreement anymore. And a motion is brought saying, oh, sorry, there's no agreements. It's getting ridiculous at this case. In any event, the information that's available to the public has already been turned over to opposing counsel. So now we're only talking about information that is not available to the public. We're talking about text messages. Obviously, the public doesn't have access to every text message you've ever sent or received, including from medical professionals. And counsel's right. I could have decided not to look at what was there and just slid it into a disk to turn over, but I had to make sure that there wasn't privileged information there, that there wasn't confidential information there. And there was, and that's the reason that I had to go through it all. We are talking about all these text messages potentially, as far as doctor's appointments. More importantly, some of the issues is the medical conditions of other children. The obvious example is the sibling that lives in the house. There is a ton of it in there. We already had the agreement to the text messages between mother and child or messages in general. We had these agreements and then opposing counsel says no. So if she's fine with that, then I just ask that we put it into writing. It's on the record. So there's no confusion moving forward. Thank you, Your Honor.
And I just want to be clear, we didn't reach any agreements. If we had reached them, this wouldn't have been necessary and we wouldn't have a motion hearing. I wouldn't have filed a compel. She wouldn't have filed for a protective order. So sort of the fact that we've had two motions about this certainly belies that there was an agreement.
All right, here's where I am at. I think that I'm falling kind of in the middle here. Request for production number 1. I think I am going to limit that to January 1st, 2021. And I do think that should be provided. Request for production number 3. And I guess just for my knowledge, so anytime they Google something, this is what that you're asking for?
It's only
yes.
It'd be if you were logged in. So I don't think it tracks it otherwise. So if you have like a Google account, if you were logged in when you did that, yes. But other people have Google calendars and a whole bunch of other things under essentially their Gmail account. And so that's the type of things that it would get at. That's frankly, I don't really care what they Google.
No, it's location and everything that they Google.
Okay, well, I'm going to limit.
Okay, and who out there would not be concerned if somebody was able to see all of their location data and what they Google? Like, she shrugs like, oh yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. I'm not going to be looking at that. Fucking right, you're not going to be looking at that. I find it hilarious to look at the Google data that Google thinks. Like you can look and see what they advertise, like what they think they should advertise to you. It's there's like 9 clicks that you have to do, and then you can see this. I'll pull mine up here in a minute, actually. That's what I'll do. I'll pull mine up and we'll read it together. Some of the shit they believe is crazy.
With that, I'm going to allow that and limit it to January 1st, 2021, moving forward. The number 5. Sounds like that's already in process. Is that correct? There's just concerns about,
Sorry, let me take a look.
I'm sorry, that's the messages between Jaden and mother.
Your Honor, we've already provided that. They want text messages between Jaden and everyone he's talked to since 2021.
Okay, so this is specifically just Jaden in general. Sorry, I misread that.
And that includes also messaging on his social media, which the court already denied them access to.
And to clarify, my client asked in a parenting plan to have access to his passcodes and to be able to monitor it. That's what the court denied, not that we couldn't get it in discovery.
Okay, so number 5, I'm gonna that should be provided, and number 6. That's already limited from January 1, 2021. That should be provided. However, that information shall not leave the office of Baldwin Legal Services. I do have some concerns based on Ms. Jeffers' filings that Mr. has and may use information that is found out, especially towards the child on some of these. So I think that he should have limited access to specifically view those. I think obviously Ms. Baldwin can relay to him the information in some of these texts, but for him to just have direct purview of all text messages that involve the child, when frankly, there's been messages provided that he's used that specifically against a child, do cause concern for the court. So I think I guess I don't want Mr. Rance to just be able to sit down in a room in his own in the law office and just review all those text messages and be able to make notes about what was said. I think that information should be gone through with his attorneys present to ensure there's some limitations there. I will say that I do understand Ms. Jeffers and her client's concern with some of that information being negatively utilized. And I don't really appreciate, just for the record, the communication between dad and child that was attached to this concern. So I do just want that noted. So, and frankly, if further down the line, we find any evidence that shows dad utilized specific messages that were discovered as part of this request to negatively speak with or influence the child, then that's probably not going to be looked at too kindly by the court.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just want to clarify. So, okay, they get the messages for everybody the child talked to. With regard to mother's messages, you indicated that they need to redact anything that does not involve the child. Is that correct?
I understood the court just said that they need to provide it.
That's correct.
Okay, so you're saying her medical, any privilege stuff or information about other children or children's medical conditions need to be turned over and not redacted?
You can certainly redact anything that's truly privileged. That means attorney-client communications, not discussions about attorney-client communications. But if she texts Mrs. Jeffers or her staff, that could be redacted and certainly provided with a redaction log or privilege log.
Yeah, it doesn't allow for any exclusion of attorney-client privileged communications. If there's, I guess if there's a text message specifically about some HIPAA type items that relate to somebody that's not at issue in this case,
There are.
which would be an interesting thing to text message about, frankly, but if there is that concern, I don't know that as long as there's some kind of certification of what's being removed, I don't have any problem with specific.
Judge, hold on. I can't think of. I mean, honestly, let's be realistic here these days, the way that we all are. Does it surprise any of you, if you're a parent, that you shared data about a child via messages? That's that seems completely reasonable to me and standard. Eh, Again, I'm pretty I'm pretty glad my divorce is over. Let's say that. God, he never asked for any of that. Donna, you're so sweet. We were earlier talking about my gray hair, but I do appreciate your comment on my eyes. Missing you all day today, Miss Orlando Chiquita. And Mr. Kobe. Miss him. But what do you think? Even you know, Donna, that people talk about medical stuff via text message all the time. This judge is just making it sound so weird. Like, oh, they're talking about medical conditions via text message? Yeah. Yeah, they fucking are. I don't know why that's weird. You're the only hater, William. I'm just joking. Um, it's very odd to me. Just agree on the time. If this is a standard way that we do things for um these cases, I guess then have access to it. Oh, I mean, they didn't say you didn't have texting when your son was young. Oh my shit. I apologize. I guess the judge looks sort of young to me though. Like you think that that's her reason for saying that? But what I also mean is now, Donna, like now you would text a friend about something or you whatever. You could talk about Owen. Exactly. So if you're talking about Owen, it's all via text. Look at the fingers. I feel silly not even thinking about like the, time before cell phones. But again, I talked about yesterday, I have had my cell phone since I was like 14 years old, the same phone number. I pay the company so much money and they just never work properly. It's ridiculous. I've paid them so many thousands of dollars and yet there's nothing. This is shit. Anyways, okay. We're gonna finish listening to this and then we're gonna go listen to some Bothell Municipal Court. I know that's not everybody's jam. This case was very interesting and I thought it was argued a little bit well. Courtney, you only talk about medical conditions and send nudes through the USPS. First of all, Donna can vouch for when I was like, is that a mailbox with like a little thing on it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, so if you put that up, they'll just pick it up. And she was like, yeah. Well, that doesn't happen in Canada. We don't have a mail system like that. We have Canada Post, which brings you the mail. But if you try and talk to a postal worker in Canada, they'll be like, no, I can't take it back. I'm already leaving. I've got everybody else's to deliver. Like, no, there's no way. We have mailboxes everywhere. I know your guys' mailboxes are blue, ours are red. And we have mailboxes I mean, I say everywhere, really, it's not everywhere. But there's another side conversation going on in the chat that I'm just letting happen here. Normally I would jump onto it, but I'm letting that one go for a minute while we finish this up.
Like medical information about other children in mom's home being redacted. Or I guess, other family members, like if it's her mother's private medical information, or, it doesn't need to be just other children, but if it's not related to her or the child in question here, I think as long as it's noted what and why. Okay.
So a couple, just clarifying. So my client can view the documents and materials in my office, needs to do that essentially with supervision. And then just to clarify, the exceptions would be obviously if I utilize those materials and file them, that would be an exception. So if something is raised, something, I find something that's, wild or inappropriate and it results in a motion, my client would be provided with a copy along with everyone else.
Yes, that's fine.
And then Ms. Jeffers, it was her motion, so she can draft on for the 7th, if that works with Mrs. Jeffers, because we have another hearing on the 7th.
That's correct, Your Honor. That'll work.
All right, over to the 7th at 1 o'clock.
All right,
Thank
very
you,
good.
Your Honor.
I agree
Thank you.
with Melanie.
We can go off the record. Thank you, Miss Wade. I appreciate your patience.
Miss Melanie and I do that. Yeah, I do see you, Mikey. Look at multiple times. Wait, 3 or 4 of me. Plus a raw court. That can't still be live. Is it live? Let's go look. Is it still live? I broke up. Well, I said you and I are both able to get somebody to agree to that. Live and not what I was planning on watching. You know what? Yeah, let's watch this.
So I'm seeing is held on all of them except for one. And then one of them's a no bail and the rest are 500.
That's probably. I guess even if you release them, you have to do an order on all those anyway. So.
And I swear, if he's still showing his DOT
Please
hold.
rise, Thurston County District Court is now in session.
Good afternoon, please be seated. Devin, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
You ready to go to inpatient treatment?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, you ready to give it a really good effort?
Yes, sir. I'm actually really excited about it. It's what I need.
Okay. Good, that's nice to hear.
Mhm.
Did Amelia tell you to say that? Or are these your own words?
These are my own words.
Okay, all right. Chad, does the state have any objection to releasing Devin from custody so he can attend inpatient treatment starting tomorrow?
No objection from the city. I did review the proposed order and agreed to it. I think it has the appropriate language.
And I'm sorry, I don't have the order in front of me. Who's going to do the transport?
Northwest Resources as well. And in the evaluation, or there's a letter from Northwest Resources that outlines specifically who.
So I should read it, you're saying, so I know what.
This is Judge Buffering, by the way.
Okay. It's not in, I just opened up one file. It's not in that file.
How else would you kick, Donna? Using 2 legs? Wouldn't you fall? Laughing.
Okay.
Also, somebody said I had a latex allergy,
In the judge's folder at
which
4
is
o'clock.
concerning because of my Fitbit band,
No, those
like
are
in
all
the
just
comments.
DNSs.
It says
Oh, no,
somewhere
okay,
around
I
there.
know, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Because there's so many cause numbers that.
Yeah,
name
okay,
it.
got it.
Sorry.
Was Kobe wondering why you're laughing and kicking randomly in the air, like kick laughing? A kick laugh, a kick laugh. Can we go ahead and kick laugh, kick laugh? Oh man, Donna, that makes me sad. You're the best to hang out with. Also, it's been raining nonstop for 3 days and I'm ready to leave. I'm not cut out for this weather. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I'm cut out for the sun.
Okay.
I'm cut out for sun and humidity. I can handle that. It didn't stop raining, Bev.
Okay, so the wording of
still
the
raining.
Northwest Resources notes it released by 11 o'clock and then returned by 5 on the day of completion. I want to make sure that if I do a release, say at 10:30, to give a little lead time, that Devin doesn't just sit there waiting, if we can make sure that Northwest is there at that time, so.
I'm gonna be coordinating with the jail staff tomorrow just to make sure that his DOC hold is resolved. So I'll
Just
make sure
make sure.
that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, hold until Northwest Resources comes. I'll put the time at 10:30 just so there's, a little flex time in there, but let's make sure.
Understood.
So Devin, you understand, the deal is, you're not gonna walk out of the jail until Northwest Resources is there tomorrow to, pick you up, right?
Yeah,
You want the corrections officer to hear that?
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
yes. I was just talking to the treatment guy.
Okay,
Okay, the judge says, okay, like, don't talk to me about it. A very different attitude than we take here on the KCC channel, where, as Jonathan says, he has therapy every night on KCC. All my therapists, so this one time at band camp. We are all therapists. What I think is funny here is what they're doing is taking somebody who's saying, I'm willing to go to treatment, I need help, take me there. And they're being like, okay, but if you're gonna break out, there's technically this 30-minute period of time where I've sort of allowed you to break out. Like, that's what they were saying there. And I just think it's hilarious because he hadn't thought about it. But now that he's put it in his head, he's got 24 hours or whatever to think about it. That 30-minute time frame. Anyways, Melanie, that's very sweet. You have a great therapist and she knows about all of us. Oh, I miss Gracie T. Remember Gracie T? I'm sorry, Gracie T, wherever you went, how you didn't find us again. And also, there was one other person who was a psychologist or something, and I want them to test me, and I'll be willing to let you guys see all the results. Hold on, before I, the mic is a lot clumsy today because of me working yesterday and not fixing it. Shut up, Judge! I'm not ready yet. He's Judge, so it's working okay. I remember all you guys, and if I had a therapist, they would know about you guys too. As of yet, I don't have a therapist. I just have a honey boo boo that I talk to once in a while.
Hey, with the resources that I get from treatment, because they said that they'll be able to help me out with housing and stuff. Well, since I have to come back, will I still be able to get those resources that they were willing to give to me, or will mental health court probably help me out with like more stuff?
Yeah, I think Northwest Resources is gonna continue with that process. But you're gonna need to be successful in the treatment program.
Yeah.
And then, so you'll come back to jail, and then assuming you're successful, we'll get you on the calendar the day or two after you get back, and then we'll release you for entry into mental health court, and hopefully housing and those sorts of things will be set up for you.
Okay. You still have to check with Thurston County? No?
So I have 6 sets of forms I have to fill out, just so you know. That's what I'm just going to sit here and fill forms out.
Okay.
Are you joking? That's what you're gonna do? You're gonna sit there and fill out forms for a fucking... How long is it gonna take him to fill out 6 forms, do we think? And again, this is why, folks, I'm gonna encourage each and every one of you to improve upon your typing speed. No matter what your job, if you improve upon your typing speed, you will be better. I've tried to pitch that idea to many like governmental organizations, like, hey, by the way, if you make everybody here learn how to type better, everybody's gonna do better. They always look at me funny, and I'm trying to explain, like, no, it's not a trap. It's like legit. I got so many of my jobs because when people are asking me things, I type it into Google and I look up the answer in the meantime. And then they're like, wow, how'd you know that? And I'm like, oh, I don't know that. Like, oh, because I can typed it in. Because like just like you could do, you could just type it in too. We also do have a typing tutor on the Discord. That's right, John. And what a good reminder. What a weird thing for me to set up one day that I don't really remember. But we have a typing tutor on our Discord where you can come and hang out and put your score in and just learn and get better. I go in there sometimes on little binges and type, tippity tap, tap, tap away. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is costing money by minute. I'm losing viewers by the minute as it's just me talking and him typing. I care, to be honest. Oh wow, we skipped 3 minutes, nothing happened. Let's skip 3 more. Skip 3 more minutes. Oh my god. Still typing. This is getting scary, right? Okay. Got a couple more minutes. Wow. Really glad I just had to do a monologue that whole. Oh, because sometimes I get into it and I will be like, you said you talked this whole time. Oh, you shut up, Judge. I'm not ready for you to talk yet. Hold on. No. No. Good job yet. No, I'm not ready. Go back. Oh, we'll see the end of this guy. Yeah, we're here. You're so sweet, Arizona. Thank you so much. I love the people that love to listen to me.
Mental health court, to the orange and walk in and your own normal clothes.
Yep. Hey, is there any way I could get my attorney's number still?
I'll give it to you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck, Devin.
Have a good one, Judge.
Thank you very much. You too.
And Your Honor, were you able to sign the actual order that we sent over there? The treatment agency is hoping to get that tonight so that they can confirm the transfer.
I should print it up. I will sign it.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Rochelle. We don't have Rochelle. I'm sorry. Okay. Jihan.
Who? What?
Hi, Jihan. Okay, so Ashley told me what happened at the house.
Yes.
And I said, okay, so did Jihan let this get to her and she just, did you lash out at the people and punch somebody or
No.
anything like that? And she said, no, she handled it really well. I'm really impressed.
Okay,
Yeah, good job.
thank you.
Yeah, you know, sometimes stuff like this happens and it sounds like you handle it really well. So I'm really, really impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. And I hope you're impressed by yourself.
Thank you.
Ashley?
Yeah, John, I was, I was happy that,
Did anybody else that had a bad childhood just get a little tingle of like acceptance and pride from that guy, that judge? Wow. He didn't get mad at her at all. I'm not crying. You're crying.
reached out to me, that's what's most important is that communication piece and letting me know. And we'll just work on it as soon as we can, call tomorrow after you let me know what she said. Sharon and I did talk a little bit, but if you're able to do that, we can set up. I know that it's a lot. Pretty frustrating. But communicate to me, and that's important. Thank you.
Amelia?
Yeah, just echo what everybody is saying. These things happen. It's part of life. It's, you get into disagreements with people and things happen, and I'm sorry that happened to you. But we'll move onward, and it sounds like you've got an appointment set up for tomorrow to look at our other options, and you've stayed committed to your mental health and focusing on your own health and your well-being, and that's the important thing. So we'll move on from this and
These people are going through real shit. Okay? And we are in our therapy session. We have nightly therapy, first of all. There's a humble brag for you. Also, go right ahead and tell anybody that you're in therapy nightly, and they're gonna be like, are you okay? What kind of therapy do you do every night? Well, we sit around and we watch court together while we laugh and talk. Now, Lisa has challenged us all to say something positive about our looks. I would like to say I love my gray hair. Makes me look amazing. Also, Melanie said, add him to the New Year's list. By the way, bitches, yeah, New Year's is happening. We're doing a New Year's party this year with 100 smash pass, ball gag, and mask judicial officials. Here's a great way to get banned from the United States. No, but seriously, we're gonna have a great New Year's party this year. It'll be all online, all you. If you want to get wasted, go ahead and get white girl wasted. If you want to be sober. It's gonna be fun. I am adding him to the list. His lips have potential. That's what Melanie said before. His lips have potential. And then she just said I'd ride them. Giddy up. Oh, I love it. I love our chat. also this is not the type of therapy that you can bill for to your insurance company. But PayPal, buy me a coffee, OnlyFans, yes, those work.
And find you something even better.
Okay.
Jed,
Yeah, obviously, sorry that had that kind of situation happen, but I agree, and I hope you feel a genuine like respect and admiration for how you handled it, because it's dealing with a normal human emotion, right? We all, nothing in the contract in this program that you can't get upset or disappointed or that happens. But learning how to make the best of it, and sometimes just get through it is sometimes all you can do. So good job. Hopefully, I know things will work out, but so I hope you do truly appreciate that about yourself.
Thank
how
you.
handle that. So.
all right, so you have a meeting tomorrow, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, with Samantha?
Shannon.
Oh, Shannon,
Well, she
okay.
has her regular appointments with Northwest Resources, so they're gonna be after the appointment.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right, Jihan, we'll see you on the 14th of November.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Anna. Hey, Josh. How are you?
Good, actually. And tell her where her phone's at.
Oh, okay. Did you guys just finish your run or you're going for a run after? Okay, is it gonna rain on you?
Oh, it's, yeah.
Sure is.
Is it Josh's fault?
I came to give her an hour. She said she
Probably.
wants to do it, so.
Okay,
No, I do. I need it. And I thank you.
okay. So I got a text this morning from Joan Benoit. And I think I've spoken to each one of you about her. So do you remember? Who's Joan Benoit? Do you know? Josh? There probably not isn't a was there, you know, even though she's my age, she would kick your butt. Yeah. So Anna, if I haven't told you the story,
I don't think so.
she and I went to college together, and she sent me a text this morning saying she's coming out. She lives in Maine. I visited her in Maine in August, and so she's coming out here to hang out for a weekend. So I sent her a text back saying, you know, if you want to go for a run, I know two people who, you know, a little younger than you are. She won the first Olympic gold medal for women in the marathon.
Oh, okay.
So in 1984 in Los Angeles.
Okay. I knew the name sounded.
Benoit. You can look it up.
Okay, well, I'm offended that you would spell and say that name like that. Benoit is Benoit, but not Benoit. Oh my God. Oh, are you telling me there's somebody named Benoit that lives in their life and they think it's Benoit or Benoit? Whatever he said? Oh my God. That's actually hurtful. That's hurting me. I don't even speak French. You know, I was at the gym yesterday and these two girls, younger girls, came into the change room and they were chatting, but it was in French. And I was just like, I don't know what they're saying. I wish I knew what they were saying. I don't know what they're saying. I thought maybe they're talking about me. I doubt it. But I don't even speak French. But Benoit is obvious to me. Benoit is Benoit. Noit is wa, basically. Why does that make sense? It just does. It's the way it's supposed to be. Fuck, I need to fix this microphone.
They have at the Nike campus, she's a Nike athlete, still almost as old as I am. They have a huge building, the Benoit building, and they have a 5-story painting of her on there. Anyway, so she's a really good runner. I think like she ran in winning the marathon, like she ran 2:24 maybe. So there's a goal.
Give me a couple years.
So I'll see if she will have some time to run with you guys. Yeah.
Just meeting her would be nice.
Yeah. I'll see if we can get something cooked up. Okay, so you have a hearing on the 2nd of November. You know about this?
I know about it.
And it's for a renewal of the protection order, right? Okay, so we had an interesting conversation about it in here. Ashley and Amelia are going to, make sure that all the information that we can give you, including some of the arguments that I think should be made before the judge, will be in this document so that those arguments are put before the judge. But the key is you have to hand the letter or letters to the judge so that they are there, okay? And if you make the decision you don't want to do it, I think that's, and maybe you've already done it. Maybe you've already provided the letter. Have you? I'll just ask you.
No,
Okay.
but I'm mentally preparing it.
Okay. Okay, but you have a letter from Amelia, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about Amelia and Ashley getting together to make sure that you have something you can hand to the judge.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
if they do that, and Amelia says she's already given you one,
Yes.
okay, and this may be, they're gonna review it, and if they need to add something to it, they will. Will you hand it to the judge rather than just say, nah, I just don't want to do this?
Is that the same as turning it in?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
clerk's office? Okay,
yeah, give them a copy, you keep a copy.
yes.
At the hearing, you ask the judge, you say, Your Honor, I previously submitted this letter from my attorney and my care coordinator. Have you received it? And if the judge says no, you say, well, I do have a copy here, and then you can provide, I'd go there with 2 copies, one for you and an extra one just in case.
Yeah, how impressive would that sound? Seriously, how impressive would that sound? Exactly what he just said there. It's perfect, but it's so unlikely that she's going to be able to execute that. But let's replay what he just said there. Your Honor, I wanted to double check that you've received this previously submitted document that my care provider and my attorney prepared for you. Have you already received it? If not, I have a copy available here for you. Like, he's giving her a special cheat code basically for judges, because if you can remember, the last time a judge was brought a piece of paper during a case and they go, is that your only copy? And every single person says, yeah. And then the judges just sort of like sigh, right? He's giving us all a cheat code here, guys. Bring dozens of copies of Big Balls to every hearing you have.
In case the judge hasn't received it for whatever reason, and then ask the judge to consider it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because, we got a little window into what the judge is thinking about this with their order saying the order will be renewed unless you show progress towards certain things. And so there are a bunch of arguments to make on your behalf that need to be put before the judge. And so we'll try to do that in writing. Okay. And we'll see how that goes. But, this has been frustrating for you, and, you feel like you're being run over by a big machine. I know. So hang in there and just keep doing. The best thing you can do is just keep doing the right thing.
Watch out, Judge. Being run over by a big machine could be somebody's kink. And say it with me now, folks. We don't kink shame, y'all. Even if being run over by a big machine is your thing, or the case of someone who isn't me, Swim, likes to get laid on top of. Oh, what a weird person they are.
Okay, just keep doing the right thing. Don't let the fact that this is really frustrating and they're saying mean things about you, whatever. Just try to do your best and let it go by, as hard as that is. Okay, that's my advice. If I was your lawyer, that's what I would say to you. And I don't mean your lawyer in here, I mean your lawyer there. That's what I would say. Because you're trying to persuade the judge, as we've talked about before, that things have changed. And you have to be that changed person in the eyes of the judge. That's what the judge is looking for. So you can be emotional, but smile a little bit. Let the judge know that you are a nice person. Maybe go for a run before you go to the hearing, so you're relaxed and you've had your endorphin and you're feeling comfortable. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Do I not have a nice resting face?
You do. But I don't want you to display the stress that this whole thing puts on you. I mean, you can display the stress because it is stressful, but just do what you believe, what feels good to you, to let the judge know you're a good person, you are working hard, you've been in this program for a year or close, and everything you're doing, everything we ask you to do and more. So, yeah.
I just wanted to comment on the smile thing. I
You're kind of stuck.
I love smiling because it makes me feel good. But when I ate a rock that was in my salad and it broke my tooth in half, and I haven't been able to take care of it, and I feel super goofy when I smile now. So like, even if somebody makes me laugh, I like. Yeah, and it sounds really petty or superficial, but fixed. 'Cause it makes me like
Yeah.
grimace.
Okay, so I have a story. I have a story for that one too.
Okay.
I have a story for everything. So when I was in law school, I got hit in the mouth in I don't know if you know what squash is. It's a racket game played in a small court. And it's, when you're in a court where somebody else has a racket and they take a big swing, and it just hit me right.
That there is a humble brag. Playing racquetball or squash, would that not be considered a humble brag? I think so, right? This is a weird story. This sounds like every story I've been told by so many old people that live in my area, but whatever. Let's listen to his story.
Right in the mouth and busted teeth. And I was a law student. I had no medical insurance, no dental insurance, nothing. And it was up in Seattle. So I had to go to the University of Washington Dental School at about 9 o'clock at night. And the students who were there had to do root canals on my mouth. Students, not dentists, students. Yeah. And so I broke 4 teeth, top 2.
So you broke 4 teeth, and then the students are the ones that did it to your teeth. I don't think so, buddy. You fucked up your teeth somehow. Racquetballs are small, but and that you were too poor to pay for dentistry. No, that's pretty much everybody in the world's story. They're like, oh, the dentist is so expensive. Ugh.
Bottom 2 in the front. And I couldn't afford to get them fixed, replaced, because I had no insurance. And I didn't have any care until I got into the Army a few years later. And I finally got them fixed, but I went 2 years. I don't know if you know the name Leon Spinks. He was a boxer. And Leon, he had his teeth knocked out, and he was a very good boxer. So his pictures of him were in the paper all the time with no teeth in his mouth. He'd smile and that's what I look like for 2 years. Yeah. So I get it. I did what you did, is I tried to smile like this, and it didn't work. It didn't feel good. So I just said, what the heck? I don't have teeth. I don't care. I'm going to smile.
I don't have teeth. I don't care. I feel so bad for him, but I will tell this story, even though I don't want to. I was born with my teeth that were very nice, but they were slightly askew, if you will. And I've told this story before. I have the same dentist, or I had the same dentist for many, 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 many years. The man who put me under anesthesia unnecessarily to appease my mother, not me. Anyways, that dentist who removed my wisdom teeth in minutes, like literally 1 minute, entire wisdom teeth surgery done. No, there's no sad music. This is good music. But when I was getting married, I went for a cleaning. I went to get my teeth taken care of, and he said, "I'm going to give you a wedding present." I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Don't worry about it." And he basically built up one of my front teeth to fill the gap between the two of them. But to do this, he sort of drilled down the other one and then put on a different sort of front of tooth, which I have now broken maybe 3 times since I got my um, tongue ring, which I don't have anymore. But anyways, so he gave that to me as a gift. He didn't even charge me for it, which is pretty kind as a dentist. And I was loving it for a couple of years, but I broke it recently. I do need to get that fixed. And I think it costs like $120. It's not that much money. But it's just, again, when you don't have medical or dental coverage, why would you want to go and do that? It seems like a little silliness. Anyways, but that dentist, let's remember, very liberal with his drugs, basically. I mean, he gave enough drugs to my mom to be comfortable for me to go to the dentist. He wasn't drugging me, he was drugging her. I have no fear of the dentist. I am okay.
Smile, and I feel better like you when I smile. And I got over it, and everybody made fun of me for a while, but then it was kind of cute. There you go, nice smile. All right, there's enough stories. Ashley, or at least mine.
Hold on, I have good teeth too. This was a gift. My teeth are still good. And I can still smile lots. It's not that bad.
Well, I mean, we just saw each other yesterday, so I don't have a lot to add, but I'm really happy you set up the appointment, yourself to go look at an apartment. That's big progress. I like just taking that step forward. So like I just mentioned a little bit, I found 4 other apartments, so we'll move forward on finding something that's comfortable and good for you. I think that as we discussed.
Actually, both Credence and Mikey well, just Mikey, not Creed, and Courtney would be able to tell. I don't think it's noticeable on my face, on my teeth. I talked to Donna about it too. She was like, once you pointed out, I noticed, but before that, not so bad. But as usual, William out here proclaiming the love for his Holly. We know, William, we know. Um, but I appreciate that. It wasn't that bad. I appreciate that, Mikey. But maybe you were distracted by something else. Who knows?
That next step. I think that will help a lot.
We were close in the daylight amongst some people.
We'll figure out our schedule and then kind of let you know. I know Mondays and Fridays are your best days, so we can try to figure something out. Okay, yeah, and a day and time, and we can actually
Also, I'd be clear, it's just a filler on my tooth. Like I don't have fucked up teeth. I just had a small gap in my teeth and then he filled one in further so that it didn't look like such a gap. That's the real thing. So basically, I'm back to my high school smile as I smile, but I'm not, I mean, there's nothing hideous about my mouth. I thank God for that, hopefully. I don't know. I don't think I thank God for that. I think I thank Satan for that. Because God, who would want bad teeth when they're giving blowjobs all the time? I've heard Invisalign is amazing. For my daughter who needed her bottom teeth were fucked up. Obviously not because of me. Mine are perfect. But that was her dad. Anyways, I just had 2 of hers removed and they did great. I mean, it took me a long time to find a dentist who would remove teeth unnecessarily from her mouth for future cosmetic reasons, but I did. When I'm determined to do something or see someone, I always do it.
Together and go over the letter, the paperwork, and just everything.
Amelia?
Yeah, and I'm happy to, I know that you guys have regular appointments. My office can also set up a Zoom. Of course, I'm happy to come down here too. I don't mind at all. We can just go through what you have. 'Cause I'm also happy to appear on, is it November 2nd?
November 2nd, 9 o'clock.
Hold on, I do have something else to say. Mikey, I was perplexed when we arrived at. Hi, Andrea. Welcome. Don't worry about being a bit behind. It's really all a mismatch. Mismatch. Anyways, listen. Mikey, I was surprised you didn't have your own videographer at the meetup. Can you explain that? That's what I was wondering about.
Just put it on my calendar so that day is free for me, but I don't want to overstep. So if you don't want me to be there, I don't want to show up and just. Okay, we can talk more about it. I'm happy to meet with you. I'm really glad that you are looking at.
Wow, what a humble brag, Mikey. You were once asked if your teeth were real because they look so nice. Well, I'll give you guys all my secret tip for smiling like Marilyn Monroe in pictures. Non-YouTube people who did not want to be in videos, fuck them. Non-YouTube people, there's no such thing. They all want to be in videos. If you're famous enough, they want to be in your video, Mikey. Realize that. You're famous enough. I am not. Anyways, the reality of taking pictures, well, Andrea, it's a small group around here, almost like a therapy group, so get ready. We're gonna know all about your secrets soon. Anyways, it's snowing. Lisa's expecting 8 inches and not a good 8 inches. You know, some of us expect some 8 inches at night, some of us don't. But Lisa's expecting 8 inches of cold, hard snow. Also, I can't remember. No, I can't remember. Oh, Mayor's just a whore for attention. The teeth were real. It's snowing. Yeah. It's public. They have no right. That's the right. That's true, Miss Courtney. People can just suck it up. And if they want to be paid for the video, they can suck the cock.
Getting out of UGM because I feel like it's so much extra stress that you don't need. You've taken the benefit from that program, and I think you're ready to move on. And I'm happy that we put that emphasis on seeking out apartments so that you can be independent and live a your life. That's the next step and be ready for it.
Yeah, and I think in a situation where
Okay, first of all, Eve says that girl needs to find a bed, lean on the table like that. I love it, Eve. Mikey asked, did I ever post the picture of us that I took as proof that I went to the meetup? Where should I post it? Um, I recently was reviewing my pictures and saw it. So yes, there is a picture. There's also a video of us that was posted on the Discord. Um, you know me, I'm not conventional social media. I streamed, exactly, Courtney. Thank you. I streamed for like 20 minutes while I was there. That's the proof in the pudding right there.
you recognize that there's things you can't control and there's things you can, and you just seem to really do well with understanding, doing what you can to get through any situation. And as far as the next hearing that's coming up, the judge will make the decision, but I really think you have a lot to offer to show like what's different and all the things that you've been doing is going to put you in a good situation. And I just also want to say that regardless of what the judge decides, you still know that you've changed, like things are better and you're doing so much. And so whatever happens there, I don't want it to kind of leave you thinking it must not be anything.
You're an asshole. Fuck you, it's 240p. You were sitting right there. You could have streamed anything you wanted, but you didn't. I did for the people. Oh my god.
Different because that's just who knows what the judge is considering. But I'm just impressed with what you've done and how you're navigating through all this. But also, yeah, lean on those that can help because if the judge is looking to see what's different since the last time the order entered, there's you that can say stuff and certainly present, but there's a lot of others that would attest to that. So just utilize all that to your advantage.
Okay, hang in there. Sounds like Amelia will show up with you. Ashley may be there. So you'll have your team. Yeah.
I believe that I asked for a whiteboard video or a whiteboard drawing of myself that I never received. So first of all, now you're down to 90%. You were giving maybe 100, but you did not give me 100. um, but you were very generous. I was very, very busy fending off a young fan of yours, not of mine, that I spent entertaining the whole time, if we do recall. Do we not recall? Anyways, you don't have. Oh, drop him another 5. You don't have Jonathan Hart as a. He's one of 2 mods on my account. uh, uh, I can't even admit to all the things that occurred during that trip. Evil laugh is evil? It was my evil laugh? No, I'm not the evil one. I didn't spit on anybody during that trip. Somebody else. That little Owen kid. We'll throw him under the bus.
So you're driving right in? You have a car, are you mobile?
Yes.
Okay, and Josh, you are too?
I'm
Not yet. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Okay, so you depend on Anna for rides sometimes?
No, actually never.
Okay. Yeah, you wouldn't trust her, is that what you're saying?
No, I just don't like asking.
Okay.
I like to be independent as much as I can.
Okay, all right, so Joan is up here Veterans Day weekend, so 11 and 12. And I think we're gonna go out to Anderson Island. So it may be that if she can make time to run with you guys, it would be out at Anderson Island. So you'd have to get yourselves, which is the ferry from Stilicho. So,
But
yeah,
I know it's not veterans property. You want to share your news with Jeff Buckley?
Oh, yeah, I finally got settled with the VA. They increased my percent. I got back. Talked to my full disability, still got SSDI, that's a 70%. So this will help that. Then something to go talk to my bank about Carlos and everything this week. Maybe go get a breathalyzer, get SR22, and then get mobile here in the next couple weeks. It's been a while. So.
awesome.
That's all stuff we're gonna work on.
Yeah.
Well, you said that's what was gonna happen and you were right.
Oh, I've been fighting. I've been appealing every decision and working with my height specialist at the WPA, and she was great. Her and been a fight. But, they're still working on it. There's a team back out there as well.
Yeah.
6 months or a year, whatever.
Right.
I bet he's trying to improve that. I've had issues keep writing it, and then go back. Hopefully get help and go back to school and kind of get everything. That's the road eventually.
Okay,
Work in progress.
yeah, that's awesome, Josh. Yeah, okay, so I have a suggestion. And you may have already done it because you're sort of a forward-looking guy. A card to your claim specialist, and maybe a little box of chocolates, something as a thank you.
Yeah, I've got a whole group. She's read to other people.
Yeah, those folks all work hard. So, and not everybody says thank you to them.
Oh, I've said it 4 times.
Okay, all right, good, way to go. You guys go have a good run, and I'll. Who's your care coordinator? You're both?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll let Ashley know what Joan says. And in the meantime, you guys should Google her, Benoit, Benoit.
It'd be an honor to be able to go to. That's great.
Yeah, she's fun.
That's not how you
All right.
say it. It's
I knew her when she was
Benoit.
18. She didn't know how good a runner she was. She came to school and everybody thought she was going to be she had a reputation as a really good field hockey player. Yeah. And she showed up the first day, and I lived with, I was senior, she was freshman, and her brother was in my class. And I lived with some of the people on the track team, including the captains. And so they had all the freshman people who wanted to turn out for track come out to the track, and they did an hour run on the track. Hour on the track and just run around. And I remember them walking in saying, "Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what Peter's sister just did. She ran 10 miles in 60 minutes on the track, 6 minutes a mile." Yeah, as a 18-year-old who didn't come to school with a reputation as a runner. They were like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah.
7 miles. The thing I think about that is
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See you, Josh. Good to see you. Congratulations. That's good news. And that will conclude our calendar for today. Oh, no, it doesn't. No bail warrant for Rochelle.
And do we have an e-copy of so I can just send it to Brandy, the signed order for Mr.
I haven't scanned it.
Oh,
yet,
okay.
so,
I can wait.
send it to Brandy. I'm told her
That's-
probably by 5.
Okay, I'll let her know. Thank you so much.
There's a hard copy.
Okay.
Might want to, just in case.
Yeah.
Not quite it for us, guys. Give me a minute. We're gonna get something else. Hold on. Please don't judge all the things that it's recommending to me. Please don't judge that. That's Google, not me.
Thank you.
Oh my god. If it's a fucking translator case, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You guys been busy today?
Mm-hmm. Just getting going. It's been kind of a long day. And I know in my other courtroom, the software went down and it was very difficult to do anything without it.
Yeah, man.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're back on the record on the afternoon pretrial calendar for Monday, the 23rd of October at the Bothell Municipal Court. And again, I'm Judge Mara Rusano. Mr. Law, it looks like we're ready on at least one matter.
And that's correct, Your Honor. For the record, so with the city, we're here, Miss Maria 5E2, cause number 3A04387330. This is will be a change of plea. Before we do the change of plea, the city is moving to amend the DUI to that of reckless driving under RCW 4661-500.
Ms. Ebert?
Yes, Your Honor, we ask the court to accept the amendment to a reckless driving.
Do you waive formal filing and reading of the amendment?
Yes, Your Honor, we do. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, or good afternoon, Miss. Is it 5E2?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Correct me because you smiled, so I know I said it wrong.
No, you said it right.
Okay. Good afternoon. I have a document before me entitled The Statement of Defendant on
Honestly, do you know how much harder it is to hit a button on the computer than it is to hit a button on a microphone? It's so much harder. About 5 seconds harder. Anyways, she sounded funny there. Like, oh, you love me, whatever. But actually, you hate the way I said your name.
on plea of guilty with your name and cause number on it, which is cause number 3A04387330. 8730. It's our beautiful new electronic form. So it looks like you gave Ms. Ebert permission to mark this form as your, on the signature line on your behalf. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Did you have a chance to read or have read to you this entire document prior to deciding to enter into this plea?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to go over it in its entirety with Ms. Ebert?
Yes.
Was she able to answer any questions that you had about it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about the document?
No, ma'am.
All right. We're going to go through this together, starting at the beginning, and you're going to have to be very patient with me because this is my first time using our new form. So I'll try not to be too repetitive.
That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. I just got up because that's a lie. She said that before. Liar, 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 judgy liar.
The first thing is your true name Maria Faitu?
Yes.
Are you 28 years old?
Yes.
Is the highest level of education you've completed high school?
Yes.
Paragraph 4 indicates the crime that you are charged with, that you intend to plead guilty to today based on the oral amendment in court here today, is that of reckless driving. And the elements of that crime were typed out for you in the box in paragraph 4. Did you go through those elements carefully to make sure that they accurately describe the crime you intend to plead guilty to today?
Yes.
You understand that those elements are what the city would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in order to convict you of the crime of reckless driving.
Yes.
Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty. They include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed, the right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself, the right at trial to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you. You also have the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you, and those witnesses could be made to appear at no expense to you. You also have the right to the presumption of innocence. It requires that a charge be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you, and you have a right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial. Do you understand that these are your constitutional rights and that by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case?
Yes.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Yes.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that's written in paragraph 6A accurately reflects what they said they were going to recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
Yes.
But you understand as the judge, I don't have to follow their recommendation or anyone's recommendation. I could sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law, which given the amendment would be 364 days in jail, a $5,000 fine, and 2 years of probation. And if I did that, that would not be grounds for you to withdraw your guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I also understand that this plea could have impacts on your license. It could lead to, I believe, an additional 30-day suspension of your license by Department of Licensing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. We also understand if you are not a citizen of the United States, this plea could have immigration consequences. Do you understand that? Okay. Did you go over all of these consequences? Oh, sorry, I do have one more I need to go over with you, which is that this, even though this is reduced to a reckless driving, this conviction could be considered for purposes of sentencing enhancement if you received another alcohol-related driving offense within 7 years. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Did you go over all of these consequences with Miss Ebert?
Yes.
And Miss Ebert, did you discharge your duties pursuant to Padilla and Sandoval?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Faitu, has anyone made any threats or promises to get you to plead guilty today?
No.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily then?
Yes.
Paragraph 11 is a statement in your own words of what you did that makes you guilty of this offense. It reads as follows. On May 28th of 2023, in Bothell, Washington, I drove a motor vehicle with wanton disregard for the safety of property. Is that a true and accurate statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you adopt that statement as your own?
Yes.
Then
Sorry, wanton disregard? That seems like a pretty cool charge to get. Maybe it's just that time of night where I'm like, hey, that's a cool charge to get. Get a charge. Get a charge for wanton disregard. Also, hi, Tin Man. Did I say hi earlier? If I didn't, hi. Wonton, says Mikey. I love wontons. I make delicious wonton soup. It's one of my special recipes.
and to the charge of reckless driving as orally amended in court here today under this cause number, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty plea will enter. I find that it is knowingly voluntarily made and that there is a legal and factual basis for accepting the defendant's plea of guilty. Does the city have anything, I guess, are we ready to proceed to sentencing today?
Not at all without talking to Vicky first. Oh my god, I'm so mad about this microphone. Why won't it work? It used to have. I paid so much money for this. So much money. Anyways, hi Vicky. How are you? Missed you. Oh my gosh, Elvis is here. Slightly lurking, major twerking. You know that's the appropriate way to be for this channel.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Does the city have anything to add to its recommendation?
Yeah, this is a great recommendation. Ms. Faitu does not have any history in state or out of state. This is the only, I believe, criminal notation on her record. So the city is requesting that you file the agreed order, or the agreed recommendation.
All right. Ms. Ebert.
Defense joins in the city's request, Your Honor, and I would like to note that Ms. Faitu is low income, and I therefore request that all non-mandatory fines and fees be waived under Blazina.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just to correct that, we have to put the 5,000/5,000 because the OCO won't let us put a number that's not 5,000. We're not allowed to put deferred, any letters, just numbers. For the 5,000/5,000. We usually put deferred to court for Blazina.
Ah, okay. I see what you're saying.
But it's a number field, so no letters can be added. So we have to put 5,000.
That's probably because other courts require their prosecutors to actually make a recommendation. Give me just a moment here.
I don't know. Just do whatever you think is necessary. I'm trying to change it to my expensive microphone that I bought money for. Paid money
Asserted
for.
Blazina, but there's a request for $100 to Bothell Police Department. Do parties want to talk about that before I make up my mind and before I hear from Miss Vaitu.
Your Honor, it's the standard practice for the city, as a matter of course, to request the emergency response fund. I don't, we don't, it should be bigger, but I think only one officer put the amount of time spent on it down, so that's all we're asking.
All right. All right. Ms. Vaitu, this is your opportunity to tell me anything that you would.
Yes, I bought it new. I have the box. It's brand new. It's a good brand, and it sucks. There's one of those times when I shouldn't have done that.
Would like me to take into consideration before I pass sentence. It's the fancy legal term for it is it's your right of allocution.
I don't have nothing.
All right. It's a right, not a responsibility. So I won't make you, but and I will proceed to sentencing. There is no sentencing form that has been uploaded.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I thought that I merged the judgment and sentence in O courts.
It is in there. You might need to refresh.
All right. Thank you. There it is. Thank you. So as I said, first time using this form, so it's a little slow, but here we go. All right. Well, I do think that this is a reasonable recommendation. So I am going to follow the recommendation. Nope. Okay. Nope. Mr. Lore, I know that we have amended this to reckless driving. Oh, maybe that will work. Oh, it did. That's brilliant. Okay. Sorry. The RCW automatically filled in. This is wonderful. All right.
It's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
Oh, and I could do okay. All right. So I am going to impose the 364 days in jail. I will suspend all 364 days, giving you 0 days to serve. $5,000 fine with the entirety of the fine suspended. As for fines, again indicated, I will not impose any of the costs. I will make a finding of indigency and waive any non-mandatory cost, fees, and assessments. With regard to the $100 restitution owed to the Bothell Police Department. Normally, I do impose that regardless. So Miss Faitu or Miss Ebert, if you want to tell me a little bit more reason why I should not impose that.
I think, Your Honor, aside from being low income, Ms. Fa'itu is also helping out her parents at this time. So I'm just hoping to minimize obligations on her at this point.
All right. Ms. Faitu, it's easy for me to say that $100 is something that you could slowly work off paying. But that's also because I've been working for better than 3 decades. I am going.
Humble brag much, Judge. I've been working for 30 years in the judicial system, so I make so much money than you, so much more money than you that it's honestly laughable. Like, I could spend your owing in, coffee in 2 days if I was gonna be generous. That's honestly what she's saying at this point.
To waive that cost at this time. Okay? Don't come back before me again, though. All right?
Thank you.
All right. I am going to make some conditions of your 24 months of probation. They are going to be, we'll start off with the easy ones. If I do set any hearings in the future, you need to appear on time for them. And to avoid that, you'll have no new criminal law violations for which there's probable cause. You will not drive unless you are properly licensed and insured. You will not drive or be in physical control of a motor vehicle with an blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or higher, or THC concentration of 5 nanograms per milliliter of whole blood or higher within 2 hours of driving. You will not.
Oh, let's guess what my THC percentage is per nanograms per milligram. Let's actually not. Shall we not? Shall we not?
Have any alcohol related infractions. You will not refuse a test of your breath or blood if reasonably requested by law enforcement officer.
Also, yes, thank you to Mikey for doxing my name, putting me out there. Now everybody and their mother knows my name as Paisley. I'm just kidding. Although I don't know how they would have known it before. Anyways, what's up, Jonathan? I'm your pot guru. What do you need to know, babe? 5 milligrams? How little is that? That's little. If you've never smoked weed before, that's still a lot, but it's not anything compared to what people that have smoked weed before. If you're just starting to smoke weed and somebody offers you 0.5 or 5 milligrams, go ahead and half it. Take that for the first day. If you don't feel any effect, your first day is fucked. Your next day, you get to double it. So go up to the full 5. And then from there, incrementally increase by 2.5 milligrams per day, and you will find the day that you find when you fucked up, basically. Pillow talk. Over on my pillows, yes.
Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong.
Hold on. So Jonathan, you're asking, I gotta sober up here and look at it. Jonathan's asking, if I eat a 5 milligram edible once, ever, then you have that concentration. No, you don't have that concentration. That's how much you took in, and then your body is going to metabolize a certain amount, and then you will be that amount. It's not 5 milligrams for everybody. Everybody metabolizes differently. What I explain is when you start using edibles, start at the lowest possible dose and work your way up. If you go ahead and keep at 2.5 milligrams or 5 milligrams, which to me would do nothing, literally nothing. And I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just being realistic, literally wouldn't impact me at all whatsoever. But it may impact you. And so what you do is you go ahead and you see what that feels like. You have to be willing to succumb to a few nights of nothing, because sometimes nothing is what happens. Now, Loud Elvis says I prefer mushrooms as a pilot, at least on your way home. Anyways, well, listen, I love psilocybin, something I take on a daily basis when I'm in Canada, and that's part of what makes me as funny and fun as I am, but also, again, something to start at a small dose with if you're new to it. If you've never done it before, please talk to somebody that has and they can walk you through it. But seriously, if you are going to go ahead and start at a small dose of 5 milligrams or something like that, start there. If it doesn't work, go to the next day. You can double it to 10 milligrams and so forth until you find a dosage that works for you. I used to have a patient who came into the dispensary and they would buy a 330 milligram chocolate bar every single day to eat. Now, that would get most people fucked up beyond belief. I mean, even me, I mean, I could probably work, but I would not be great, you know? But, that guy told me that he used to take heroin. And instead of taking heroin, he now took the edible. So to me, the choice is obvious when he can OD on a heroin, injection versus an edible that he can take and just be conked out on the couch for. I'm gonna go for the conked out on the couch. But again, everybody's themselves. Why don't we finish watching this while we all ponder those things?
Okay, no. I'm just making sure I've covered everything. Going to require that you comply with any of the Department of Licensing rules and regulations regarding the installation and use of a functioning ignition interlock device if that is required by them. I'm not requiring it. Okay. You must obtain a substance use disorder evaluation. Sorry, it's been one of those days today. So obtain a substance use, which is also alcohol, evaluation, and follow the recommended treatment. And you will also attend the DUI victim panel.
Your Honor, I believe we have filed a copy with an evaluation with the court.
All right.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you. Where's my, and because I don't have that readily available to me, what was the recommended treatment? Was it the Alcohol Drug Information School?
Yes, and a victims impact panel.
All right. And those have not yet been completed, or they have?
No, Ms. Fa'itu was unsure where to go for them, but I have asked her to check in with STOP because I think STOP probably does those things, and that's a review evaluation.
All right, so I have indicated that you have to complete within the following period of time the DUI victim panel at Substance Use Disorder Information School, which is the Alcohol Drug Information School. And I'm going to set a period of time within which you need to get that done. About how long do you think we'll need?
So would it be just one class, or is it like an ongoing for the 2 years?
It wouldn't be ongoing for the full 2 years. Remember Pam was telling you about something on weekends? Did she say if it would be multiple weekends?
I could either do it, and there's one in Puyallup that I could do, and they do weekends. And then she said there's one in Tacoma, but they do like weekdays. They hardly have weekend open. So probably, but she says probably like once a month, or sometimes 2 times a month, or that's what she was saying. But I wasn't sure if I was like supposed to do it right away or.
So usually the alcohol drug information school is a 4 or 8 hour course, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Mr. Lohr?
Yes, John, I believe it's either 4 or 8. I believe
And
the class is 8 hours.
Okay, and then the DUI victim panel is often offered contemporaneous with that. This is what I'm going to do, Ms. Faitu. I'm going to give you 90 days to get that done, which is basically 3 months, right?
Okay.
You're going to have a probation officer that you're going to report to, and it will be by phone, so it should be easy. But you need to do that. You need to contact the probation officer and make sure you get this done. It's very easy when you have 90 days to put it off to day 89. It's a bad idea. Okay.
Consider doing a proof or appear. I don't know that because she doesn't have, I mean, it's a 1 class. I don't know that probation is going to find that she is a candidate for active probation.
Ah, okay. Yes, that would be fine. Sorry, I'm just going through all the multitude of boxes that have to be checked. Madam Clerk, can we get a review hearing about 90 days out? Actually, I can probably do that, can't I?
Be January 3rd at 1:30.
You're much faster than I am. January 3rd at 1:30. Okay. So I am,
Zoom.
yeah.
Can we do Zoom that day?
Review hearings are in person with the court,
Okay.
although they may be hybrid by then, but at this point they're in person. But it's a proof or appear. So if she provides proof to the court that she has completed the alcohol drug information school and the victim panel before that date, she will not need to appear.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. I have one question. Do I need to check the box that requires the clerk's office to send a DOL notice? And I think I do because it's a reckless driving, but okay. All right, Mr. Lohr, This is your opportunity to tell me what I have done, what I have not included before I sign this.
The first one I see is the jurisdiction, Yanis.
Whoops. I have King County, is that incorrect?
Oh, no, that the jurisdiction for how many months she's on probation for.
Oh. All right. There it is. All right, so that's for 24 months. All right, found it.
And near the bottom, there's the driver's license suspension for, it should be 30 days or DOL.
Near the bottom?
It's above the comply with DOL. I think it's right above the complete filing and submit proof to court probation.
Okay. Sorry, I see that now.
And there shouldn't be an ID requirement. This is reckless driving.
Oh, so remove that. Okay. All right, and monitored probation for 24 months. Okay. All right. All right, well, with that, thank you for your patience, everyone. I will sign it. And I believe then it will be available. Ms. Faitu, if Ms. Ebert goes through the form and confirms that it does comply with my oral ruling here today, do you give her permission to mark the form on your behalf?
Yes.
All right. With that, then I believe council, everyone can sign now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then also, Ms. Faitu, if you wish to receive a copy of these paperwork by email, if you have already provided that or chat that to Ms. Ebert, she can fill that in on the form and check the box allowing that.
Okay.
Right below Ms. Faitu's signature.
Would you like an email copy of this, Ms. Faitu?
Yes, please.
All right. Let me know what your email is, or feel free to send it in the Zoom chat, whatever, because we're streaming live, aren't we?
We are live streaming to YouTube, so I highly recommend just using the chat function to do that. And I think she may have already done so.
Oh,
she looks like she's much more computer savvy than I am, which isn't a really high standard, but.
There we go. Thank you.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that document is signed.
This is a joke,
and
right? It's
email
taking
address
too
is uploaded.
long.
You know, I just noticed something, but I don't know if we need to change it or not, but the box will obtain a substance use disorder evaluation is not checked. Seeing that she's done already, I don't know if you need to impose that, but
I think we already have it in the file, and the oral record does indicate the same, that she's already been evaluated, and that what was recommended was the alcohol drug information school, which is ordered.
Okay,
So I think we're okay,
okay.
hopefully. All right. I think that concludes this matter, unless there's any other questions. And
Not from
Ms.
defense.
Ms. Faitu, this is an opportunity also for you. If you have questions of the court, you can ask them now. Don't worry, you're not precluded from asking them again in the future if a question comes up, okay? You can always contact the court and ask questions.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't
All right.
have any.
Very good. Well, good luck to you, and hopefully things work out. And I don't see you on January 3rd because everything's taken care of, right?
Right.
Okay, very good. Take care.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Or the next matter, Mr. Hodge.